What's up? What's up? It's Uncle REG Live. Okay, in the house. Yeah. What's going on, folks? What's going on? Got a few people in the house. Someone Korean or something. I don't know. Might have to speak English. You said say hi. Okay. Well, welcome anyway. Put the translator on. But anyway, what's up? Those people who's in here, trolls or whatever it could be. We be passing through whatever. What's up? What's up? We're gonna go over this Nolan Wells update, and it looks like there's some inconsistencies in this case. I don't know. Now, I was speaking kind of okay of the lawyer that's representing him, Benjamin Crump, but I don't know. It looks like he's trying to do something funny here with the case, putting information out that's not somewhat true. But we're gonna go over this stuff. I told you that, man. Him, Al Sharpton, ambulance chasers. You know, oops. Oh, y'all probably didn't hear that. Okay. But anyway, yeah, the ambulance chasers. They only come out if a brother is dead or a sister is dead or a black person is dead. So that makes them kind of like death dealers, right? Right. We don't like that. Come on. We won't want this shit to end. We want all this racism stuff out here to end. We don't want motherfuckers dealing with death dealers. Only time you there, and then your family get a whole big settlement and they get a chunk of it. Nah, man. What's good is that? You lost your kid. You can't bring back your kid. So your kid died, you get millions of dollars. And the person who did it either go to jail and then getting out eventually. I think it should be an eye for eye. Yeah, for death. With all this death dealing shit, that means you put money in your pocket. And you think that the parents is happy with getting millions of dollars off their dead son or dead daughter. I mean, maybe some are, but most ain't. They want to make sure this shit don't happen to nobody else. I'm just saying. So we can go over this case. It's just some inconsistencies in this case. You have to. And one thing we know that Mississippi, well, the, the boy families, the white people boy families, they cover it up. They got some juice in that in Mississippi. Apparently, they trying to cover the shit up. Really, they want this to go away and stuff, but it's not going away. It's in the media now, so. And it's political year and stuff. Trump in office, they want to make anything they can racial to get shit going. Democrats, it's probably a Democrat ploy to get y'all fighting again, to get y'all. There's so much racism out there. We got to vote for the Democrats again. The Democrats didn't do nothing for you. For 67 years, it ain't really did nothing for black people. All they did is maintain the rights they gave you. That's it. And now some of them rights is going away because of the Supreme Court striking down voting rights and acted virtually, and a few other things is going out the door, pulling out, getting rid of affirmative action basically. So after 60 years, you can't maintain what you got, and that's what your job was, to maintain what you got. So you see these dudes like Roland Martin out here and stuff like that. They're gonna probably try to push their conversation up. Conversation that we've been having, saying go independent, stuff like that. Don't move until they actually give you something. Oh no, I don't think black people that stupid to let them back in the house. But anyway, um, hold on real quick so we can get on started here. I got some other news real quick before we get on to this Nolan update. Inconsistencies in this case. Hold on. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the FIFA World Cup. Apparently, today, semifinals, France and Spain. They go at it today. And then tomorrow it'll be England and Argentina. So, how many people going for England? Argentina, Messi's on that team. Khalid Mappy is on France, and Erling Haaland is on Norway. Okay, from Norway. Where he's from? Okay, hold on. But Norway ain't playing. I don't know. It says, that's a leader stats, but those teams is so it's just gonna be a good game. That's all I know. I'm not too much into soccer, but it's getting to the end. Who's gonna play who? I say France and England. Old rivals. I think this is just gonna be it. France, England. The people say Argentina. I don't know. I think they're gonna lose. Messi on there. I think they're gonna lose. That's my prediction. I should put some money down on it. I could put some money down on it. I don't know. So I don't know what the bet is, but tomorrow, well, I'm not gonna do it today. I'm not gonna look up the betting odds, real quick. We're gonna get on to the show. But anyway, so the next thing I'm talking about, you don't know, war is back on. Oil is up, man. Oil is up. The Brent crude is 85. That's one you need to look out for. And WTI is 79. Right now it's 80. Go up to 80, 79. And then, Trump, Iran is hitting each other. I hear that 2 more oil tankers got hit by Iran, and the United States is hitting a lot of the other bases and stuff like that. And Trump talking about he's going to hit the electrical infrastructure of Iran now. You see, he knocked out all the bridges. I don't think so, because I heard that they knocked the bridge down, but they repaired it. But then what got people bugged out is that he said that when we take over the Strait of Hormuz, we're going to charge everybody 20%. going through a fee, 20%. So whatever your cargo costs, he gonna charge 20% of that. And but then didn't he accuse Iran for doing the same thing? That you can't charge nobody and charge because the Strait of Hormuz is international waters. Now you want to go ahead and do it. So it made him look kind of crazy, man. This is like I said. Man. They might need to get him out. And the GOP is kind of like, even though they are with him, they don't like what he's saying. Some of the stuff he's saying, hey man, you shouldn't be saying that. They wish he just do the job and shut up. Basically, it's getting to that point. And they want him to hurry up and win this war. Do whatever you gotta do to get out, get to win the war and get out. Because right now, gas is gonna go up. Gas is already going up, as y'all can probably tell. Who gas is. Right now, the national average is 384. Here, in California, it's like 4. The average is 4 in California, 5. Well, I'm talking about 5. Some places got like 498 or something like that. So it's starting to go back up in California where I'm at. It's not going back up everywhere. So everywhere will be the average will be $4 everywhere by within this week. I say this week. Because it looks like there's no signs of peace talk. I think the peace talks is dead. I think they're gonna have to go to war. I think Trump messed up. Israel love it, man. Israel love it. Because this is what Israel want. Them to keep fighting Iran. Knock them out, but it's not gonna work that way. Because Israel really want the United States military. They want the military. They don't need the United States no more like that. But I think all this plan is going to fail. I think the GOP need to wake up and find out who the real culprit behind this is. This is Israel war. This ain't got nothing to do with us. This ain't our war. All that saying that they had nuclear weapons, don't have nuclear weapons in it. They got nuclear weapons. What they gonna do? They're not gonna what? They're gonna fire it on us, and we turn around and hit them with 100 nuclear weapons. It won't be no more. It won't be no more Iran. There won't be no more Middle East. Why would they do that? They do that. They probably get nuclear weapons so they won't have to. When people like Israel can't come in and just come right in because they know that they will hit them. You dig what I'm saying? That's the problem. Okay, let me. I know this guy here. I don't know. Let me. I can't get rid of him. I gotta block that person. You gotta speak English. Sorry. Come over here. Speak English. You got a translator now. Speak English. Because I don't know what you said. It could be your name or whatever, but still, I didn't know. Speak. Okay. But anyway, yeah, the gas prices, man, is just kind of, hey, man, we're in trouble. And then our fucking reserves is all the way down to the bottom. And it's just a matter of time, man, for all hell breaks loose. You know, Trump, the people was telling them that if we don't get out of the war, it's going to cause damage to the U.S. economy and the economy around the world. Apparently, Trump did not care. He can't get his way out by saying, we have peace talks." He said that again for the 100th time. Oh, we're gonna have peace talks. They want a peace bad. They want peace. No, they didn't say that. They didn't say anything like that. How the hell are you gonna have peace bad when you keep on attacking them? They're not gonna agree, They're not gonna agree to none of your terms, Trump. None of them. The only thing you do is pull out, and that's it. Get about it. Let Israel deal with it. That's it. That's their war anyway. Israel can't get rid of Iran by themselves. They can't do it. They can't get rid of the other countries around there without your help. You were stupid enough to listen to Israel because I guess they promised you a lot of money. You can make a lot of money. We can share in the profits. We can make the Gaza Strip into an island and all this shit. A resort island, and we make hundreds of billions of dollars. United States, we get all this oil. You get all this oil, you go pay off your debt, the national debt. You be the greatest president in the world. They gassed his head up. Israel don't care about no America, man. That's why they treated Ro Khan like a stepchild. Who does that? No other country will treat American diplomats that way, except Israel. That's some bogus shit. They'll be apologizing. They only needs apologizing. Or what do you want? You want? Sorry. There was threw them fools in jail for doing that, but Israeli didn't do that. Israeli didn't throw those sellers in jail, or they didn't reprimand the soldiers, Israeli soldiers that came in there. I'm just saying, folks. CDA God, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's bullshit? So next thing I want to talk about real quick. D Durrell. I saw Grandmaster Troll video talking about D Durrell. Apparently, I guess he got a line on his case. New information come down on his case. He get alerted. Apparently, he was alerted. He went live yesterday. Talk about this case. Frauded a lot of people. We know that he was a resident psychiatrist, college over here in this space, and it was cool. It was cool, brother, and stuff, and all that and stuff. And, he got into it with a lot of people. He was down with the Umar sector, and I don't know. I wasn't down with that, man. I don't know what the hell it is. He believed Umar was okay and shit. Well, now we know why, because he do the same thing as Umar. Whether he can whether he say otherwise, it's just facts is facts. You got caught up for scamming people off of this medical shit, making millions of dollars, fake consultations and all that, whatever. But what Grandmaster Troll uncovered was that he pleaded guilty. He pleaded guilty. Turning state evidence. Not only that, I didn't know this, but apparently he's not a U.S. citizen. He's so-called, I guess y'all call him a tether. All this time y'all thought he was a U.S. citizen. This nigga's goddamn tether. Nothing wrong with tether, but to people like Tariq Nasheed, yes. He's saying that because he pleaded guilty, he can lose his citizenship. He can get deported back. I don't know where he's actually from, but damn, I'm going like, is this true? Oh. Yeah, so that's interesting. So I want to know what D. Darrell gonna say once he get out and stuff if he don't get deported. But he can get deported, like I said. And you know Trump is deporting anybody that's illegal, especially if you're doing crime. You going, you gone. But the only thing I can say to D. Darrell is good luck. That's it. That's all I can say. You know, you do the crime, you do the time. It's on you. I'm sure that you can get back into space. People would won't look at it. They say, okay, whatever. It's old time. He'd be back to business and shit. It's not like situation with Tito and stuff like that. Got a sex jacket on him, and people still fucking with him after the fact. Hey, it is what it is. It's not that severe as that. You know, but yeah. So we have to see what happens with D. Darrell. But like I said, I haven't been listening to him. I don't know what he's saying, what he's doing, anything. That's the first time I heard any news of him is from what I heard from on GMT yesterday. So the next thing I want to get into, people that's on here that's addicted to beef. I just want to go through this real quick because I was in the space, people beefing. They said my space was part of the beef sector and all that. That's why I had to get out of that shit, man. I'm glad like things that happened when they did got me up out of there. But I'm seeing other people that used to be part of the beef that was going against me, like Big J. How you threaten people and saying that I'm here to get rid of everybody that's in the Black man. I want them dead. I want them gone. So now motherfuckers is gone. Most of us gone. I ain't over there no more. Sidian is gone. Tommy gone, banned. David Carroll passed away. Alan Curry gone, passed away. Kevin Samuel passed away. A lot of the red pill content has gone down the drain. A lot of them guys that was in the red pill shifted over to the Passport Brothers, MTR, and Coach Greg Adams, a few others. Donovan Sharp, red pill movement, dead, gone. He's over doing something himself. He's a freelance now. Talking about he's on the Myron Gaines trip, being the coon ass conservative over here. So a lot of people gone, but he still, it wasn't good enough for him. See, when they gone, when all of us is gone, that he had a problem with, he ain't got enough content no more. He ain't got nothing to talk about. So I thought he would disappear and stuff, He and Taz and stuff like that. No, they just went over to find somebody else they could beef off of. And they did. Went to the beef sector, went to these new guys that come out from Anton Daniels' crew, the Freezies, the Aaron O's, Ron Bracey's, the Fatties, Cellulite, Izzy Bands, all these guys. That's where he's at now, talking about them. And now that wasn't good enough because they didn't pay attention to him. He's over there talking about the sisters, the one women that he was protecting, him and Taz. He's over there going at them now. Bomb Cherry and Sexy Red and all these other ones that could. Sexy Red be in and out. I don't know about her man no more. At one point she was doing good. She just they hit her, man. She was doing something wrong with this, but she was doing the political stuff and she was doing good, man. I mean, that channel blowing up. So she must have broke some of the YouTube guidelines, went down the draino. So now she's back. But she don't give up. Don't give up. We keep going, keep going. But I thought like Jay will go on to do some other content. He can. He got the ability to do other content, especially political content. But I guess nobody don't want to listen to that. I'm trying to tell you that already. But you have to put work into it. If they get them to listen to you, you got to put work in it. You can't just have all this beef stuff and then turn around and try to do this political stuff and thinking that people will take you seriously. If you made go around the whole entire YouTube, black YouTube or whatever, and made enemies of motherfuckers. Even though he stuttered and stuff, I think that he had a good mind to do the content, the political content and stuff like that. I don't want to put the work in. He loved the beef. He's stuck in it. Perpetual detractor, like Lennon Honor and stuff, or the Nana dude that's over here. Tether going against the FBA. Him. CDA. No, there's a CD Productions. Used to be the conspiracy dude. Conspiracy dude was, I used to listen to him all the time because he stuck with conspiracy. That was his lane. But YouTube did not like the conspiracy channels because it was giving up too much truth. So they didn't like the flat earth either. But out of all of them, man, it was like me, Big J is the worst. You got a problem, man. I really do think you got a problem. But hey, it is what it is. I just can't believe that your lane in life is to beef with other people. And now you're beefing with all these women that was in the sisterhood now. That was part of sisterhood. The women that you were protecting, that you protected them from the black manosphere, from O'Shea, Angry Man, BGS. Obsidian. Crazy. It didn't change. You can't tell them nothing. Because that's how people know him. People don't know him from no political shit. They know him because he beefing with everybody. The dude that stutters and stuff that beef with everybody. Threaten people, crash out. That's it. I don't want to be known from that, why you think I changed my shit? I don't want to be known for get beefing with motherfuckers. Perpetual beef. Leader of the beef sector. Fuck that. It's crazy. But anyway, now let's get on to what we need to get into. But I had to talk about that real quick. We gotta talk about Nolan Wells update. Apparently there's some problems lately with the case and stuff. The number one is the toxicology report done by Mississippi. Examiners, medical examiners. It hasn't come back yet. I know it takes a while for that, 3-4 weeks or whatever. And then they only did a physical examination. And all they said is that there was no foul play. So we know that something was up. So the family, got an independent autopsy done. They had to take Nolan Wells' body, fly to D.C. in order to do it. They didn't want to do it in that state, which is good. You don't why do it in the state? Because if they're all connected, if it's some foul play, real foul play, you want to get a completely independent autopsy done. So they said they're waiting on that now. This is Benjamin Crump. Apparently, Kaepernick paid for it. Football player, which is actually he's somewhat pro-black now, an activist now, basically. He paid for it. And then we know that they're gonna have this funeral. He's paying for the funeral, which is gonna be a big funeral and stuff. And they all make it into a political spectacle. This is not right. I don't think so. But that's what they're hoping, and you're gonna see Crump there and Al Sharpton there. Now somebody called out Al Sharpton because he had his hand on Nolan Wells' mother or the husband right there. And I'm going, some people say, hey man, why you got my hand? You don't need your hand on my wife. I know that's kind of petty, but there's some dude like, no, you don't need to do that. I comfort her. This is my wife. You can just go like this. Like that. That's it. That's all you can do. You don't be holding her and shit like you don't need to do that. What you do in the back, you'd be in the front. You'd be right there. It's BS. I don't know, man. I help a tricky motherfucker, man. I don't like him. And I did say in the previous video that maybe he's doing some good now because he have to. Maybe that's what it is. They have to produce some results of getting it straightened out. If they might want to fix their reputation as being the ambulance chasers. The main ambulance chasers out here. But that's the first inconsistency right there. The next one was his friend came out. Nolan Wells' friend, Tracy Shepard. He's a longtime friend of Wells, okay. He had a video where, now he was talking about the video where they was all in a group. It was on an island. Wells and a group of people and stuff, a lot of people. And, they were standing on the island and Wells heard the video. And then Wells was heard in the video actually saying, want his phone back. What the fuck are you doing? Give my fucking phone back. Now his best friend, Jason, said that was him. he heard his voice in the video. That was him arguing with some of his friends. That was him talking about the phone in the video. And what was going down is that, you know, he was telling both JVR Williams and a family member who was both there that was restraining him so he can fight some other person. But let him off the boat so he can fight some other person. This is what this was. This is what it is. And he said Nolan at the time wasn't on the island at the time. That video you saw where all the people and you heard they go to one part and they go to the other part on the boat. So give me the phone. That was him. That was Nolan Fred. Tracy Young. Something's going on here, folks. I don't know what's going on, but something's going on here. Now, everybody was playing that video saying that was Nolan there. Nolan was not there at the time. Apparently, at that particular point, he was not there. And then he also said that the boat needed to be returned due to some electrical issues. So Wells told his friend, Trayson Shepard, that he's going to stay behind because he met a girl. We know that part. And he will return with another group of his friends on another boat. And then his friend also said no one would hurt Nolan. We would die for him. He brought us all together. And not only that, he's saying that now he's kind of afraid to do interviews because he's a fear of his safety because him and his friends got death threats. Because they thinking that he had something to do with Nolan's death. So that's why he's not doing no interview. Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. No, going back. So that's the second one. Now you got another third inconsistency. It's the photo. The photo that everybody is saying he was at the pool party. He was on the island at the pool party. This and that third. That photo that Crump put on his IG. Showing Wells at a pool party. But that photo was not from July the 5th. Or the 4th, July the 5th. It took place on June the 27th, in Christian Pass, Mississippi. He said Crump is trying. This is Nolan friend, best friend. Crump. He said Crump is trying to spin the narrative that that's not there. He was wrong. So he's accusing President Trump of spearing the narrative, creating something that's not there. Why would Trump do this? If this is true, but he said that the photo wasn't that. So I don't know if Trump came back and said anything to refute the photo, but maybe he already knew the photo was there and he just ran with it anyway because it looks good. But this is bad for the case if it goes to court. So all of this is being disproved before we even have a trial. So I mean, shit, it looks like it ain't gonna be no trial. It ain't gonna be no case. If everything that Benjamin Crump is saying is wrong, false, all these inconsistencies are coming up now. Ain't gonna be having no goddamn case. And then just the fact that it's taking so long time for this autopsy to come through. I mean, maybe he know what the autopsy don't take that long. You can rush that shit through, and you can find out what it was. What if they know the result of the autopsy and an autopsy say that he drowned? It was no foul play. See, they're looking for the autopsy to come back to say that there was abrasions on his head, he had killed, he had they put some drugs in him, this and that, third. I don't know. But if none of that comes back, we got a case on us. Because, well, how did he end up dead? He drowned, or he got pushed in the water because he was too drunk. He was fighting. I don't want to know. But we got to see what the autopsy comes back from DC. That should explain everything. I think that Mississippi medical examiners didn't want to do autopsy because, they just want to just close the case. Because remember, those white boys, they're connected in that town. Like I said, one of their mothers is a judge. It looks bad on family. They don't want to go on a case where they're going to be dragged out for years. They ruin the family now, ruin their chances going to college, stuff like that. Because nobody ain't going to admit nobody in college. You murder case, killing some young black boy. 3 white boys killed him. Ain't nobody going to admit you no goddamn college off of that. You ruin everything. But just the fact that his best friend came out and said that Crump, ain't got the wrong information. He's running with this, running with that. This will make it look like this is a race thing. when that wasn't the case. Now, some people say that the friend is being put under pressure by the locals. You say this, you say that. If not, we're gonna get you. We're gonna give you and your family all this. You know how it is. We know the history of Mississippi on certain things. Go. If you're old enough like me, you know. I'm just saying. But we're gonna play this news clip here. I'll let y'all. We're gonna play this so we can hear it. Okay, there we go. So we can hear this. What's going on? So let's go. Let's go.
Wells for the first. So now to the latest on the mysterious death of Nolan Wells. For the first time since Wells' body was found, we're hearing from a friend of the 18-year-old who was with him on the day that he died. Trayston Shepard, who says that he was with Wells on the 4th of July, but declined to speak on camera because of the threats that he says he's been receiving.
We did no wrong here, and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it. We all cared and loved Nolan, and nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short.
This is Tracy and Shepard talking, the one I was talking about before. Let's go.
All right, Kajachi, and also legal analyst and attorney Brian Buckmeyer join me now for more. So, Ike, what more are we learning about why Wells stayed behind and didn't go back to the mainland with his friends?
Yeah, Kira, this has really been at the center of everything. This question, why did Nolan Wells stay behind when everyone else decided to actually leave the island? Well, now we're hearing from someone who was there that day. His childhood friend, Trayston Shepard, said that the boat that they came on experienced an electrical issue and they had to go back to shore because of that. And he says Nolan told the group he wanted to stay behind because he met a girl and planned to catch a ride back on another friend's boat. Now, Shepard described this trip as one last hurrah before everyone scattered back to school and work after this holiday. There were about 300 people on that island that day. A lot of them were high school classmates. They knew each other, and they wanted to spend this time as just one big party before everyone dispersed wherever they needed to go. But according to his friend, Trayston Shepard said that this wasn't anything sinister at all. It was an 18-year-old who wanted to have fun, but Kira, as we know, that 18-year-old Nolan Wells never made it back to shore.
Well, and Brian, Trayston also addressed the viral video. Investigators, have been looking into, saying he's actually the one yelling, not Wells.
See, that throws that theory out of the door. That video, I remember everybody was playing that video a couple of days ago. They ain't playing it now, but they was playing that video from top to bottom. That wasn't Nolan Wells. That was Tracy, his friend. Please, let's go.
How crucial is that?
Here, I think it's very crucial in the sense of now we know who's yelling, why they were yelling, and according to Trayston, it had nothing to do with what Nolan Wells was doing. Instead, giving us a description that a stranger was kind of getting in his face and he was yelling at him. This closed down one avenue of investigation, and while that might be heartbreaking that it doesn't give us an answer, eliminating possibilities as to what happened will hopefully steer us in the right direction, finding the right reason as to why everything happened. And then going back to something that Ike said, I hope that with Trayston saying Wells was there talking to a girl, that we can get a description of that girl, what she was wearing, who she might be, and follow up on more questions.
So then, Brian, at this point of the investigation, it's the autopsy that I know we're all waiting to hear about, because that will definitely help us try to figure out what exactly happened, right?
Yes, the autopsy is probably the next step and probably the biggest step in determining what happened here. Autopsies do two things. It tells you the cause of death and the manner of death. It could be any number of things in terms of being a homicide, an accident. I don't believe it's going to be a natural death, but that determination is going to be important. But then also, of course, the cause. What caused Nolan Wells to die? Is it strictly the drowning? Was it something else? Is there blunt force trauma? That's going to give us a lot.
Hold on real quick. This goddamn cat. God damn. Okay, let me finish this real quick.
More answers and hopefully some questions that lead to the ultimate question and answer of what happened to Nolan Wells and how did he die.
All right, Ike, Brian, thank you both.
Okay, let me.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on.
I'm going here. I'm gonna play what Joy Reid had to say about this. We got to hear what somebody have to say about this.
Okay.
So, I think we all now know by now that on July 4th, 2026, Nolan Xavier Wells, an 18-year-old boy, was reported missing after going on a weekend trip with friends to Horn Island, Mississippi, where they were out on boats. The Ocean Springs young man, the Ocean Springs native, was last seen shirtless, wearing blue swim trunks and black sunglasses on a boat on the island with friends. He was the only African-American among those friends.
Now, I think that we know that's, well, I don't know if that's false now, because remember the picture they had up there, they were saying there was other people, black people there at that place. So that might be wrong. He wasn't probably the only one there. I think there was a couple other people. Remember, his friend was there. So I think that's false. But hold on real quick. Okay, let's go, bro. Like I was saying before, we know now he wasn't the only black person there. That's another thing, according to his friend.
Now, the friends who were on the trip with him and their families, those friends who were on the trip with him allegedly left and claimed that he decided to stay behind by himself. That they left and he decided to stay behind, which kind of doesn't make any sense because the friends who left had his phone, which is a strange thing to do. Number one, to leave your friend behind when our kidults have gone on.
Now, his friend explained the situation with the phone. He said that when you go in the water, you don't take your phone in there with you. You know, everybody put their phone on the boat, on a certain part of the boat where everybody's phone is at. There could be 15, 16 phones there. And then when it come out, they go get the phone and stuff. Apparently, if he didn't. But what's weird is that so he never come back and got his phone. Which don't make any sense. So like I said, it's holes in the story. Even with his friend, it's still somewhat a hole. I mean, you'll come back and get your phone. The phone is everything. The phone is a lifeline. So you're not gonna leave your phone. You're gonna go back and get your phone. Oh man, I got my phone. Shit, I gotta go back. You're gonna went back and got your phone. That's what it is. But anyway, let's go. Let's go.
On vacation with friends. You go with the friends, you come back. Everybody goes, everybody comes back. You don't leave one person behind when you all went on a trip together. That's weird. And kids are so attached to their phone. The idea that you would let your friends leave you in among strangers.
Now, Joey Reed, I don't know if she got the other information from Tracy, his best friend. I don't know if she heard that part yet. You know, she just did this 9 hours. I think that she's just going with the same narrative that everybody else is going with. So people are hearing what they want to hear. You know, I'm just saying. Man, let's go.
Out somewhere in some rural boat trip out in Mississippi where you're the only black kid, you would let them leave and take your phone? That's weird too. And the friends who are with them and their families, they've released these formal statements in response to allegations that their involvement is somehow suspicious. But they've also said pretty much collectively that they're not sure where Nolan went after saying that they're the ones who notified the police that he was missing. It's weird, right? And so lots of things about this situation are strange. His mom immediately started posting on social media saying, "Where is my son?" Posting about him. Now, his mother is actually a beauty influencer. She's a registered nurse, and she does a lot of beauty influencer work. So you can still follow her. She was posting up until yesterday on Threads, including in memory of her son. And she used to post like sort of beauty influencer stuff. She's very much online. And so she started going online to her growing community of followers saying, hey, describing what her son was wearing and asking for any help to find her baby. And so she's posting like crazy, trying to find him. But the friends seem to be very silent. In fact, and this is where it gets a little weird, the friends and some of their parents have deleted their social media. You can throw up B2, Jason. I went through and verified the social media accounts of the friends who were identified in that picture and tried to see what was on their social media.
Yeah, they lowered up real quick. The friends lowered up real quick. You see, all that shit is vacant. They said, oh, hell no. Oh, no, we're not getting fucked up with this shit. Oh, hell no. We wipe everything clean. Scrub it all down. Let's go.
Yeah. And yeah, all of their Threads accounts as well as their Instagram accounts have been made private, or their Threads accounts say there are no posts, meaning they haven't posted at all. So there are just no posts at all. And then there's a woman named Ashley Cole, who's actually a judge and who's the stepmother of one of the boys.
Now, that's what I was talking about. One of the boys' mother was a stepmom, but she's still a mom. The judge.
And she, too, has deleted her social media. All of her social media has been deleted. She posted on Facebook explaining why she deleted her social media. I'm going to read you what you probably can't read on the screen, so I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. This is Ashley Cole, who's the stepmother of one of the boys who were with Nolan and who claimed they left him behind. She says, our family, along with the community, grieves the loss of Nolan Wells. Our thoughts and prayers are with Nolan's family. Our son, Warren, loved Nolan dearly. Unfortunately, I feel that it is appropriate for our family to dispel some rumors with facts based on the social media attention that is being diverted away from the Wells family and their loss. Yes, I deactivated my Facebook. Given the very heightened emotional state of social media right now, I fear for the safety of my child and my children. My husband and I have 6 children, and we covet their privacy. We do not believe it is appropriate for our minor children's photographs to be circulated throughout the internet, presenting potential threats to their safety. I graduated high school with Christine Wells Wansley. That's the mom. We are from this, that's Nolan's mom. We are from the same community. I have the utmost respect for her and all the Wells family. We mourn the loss of Nolan with them. Our prayers have been and continue to be with them. My husband and I were not at Horn Island at any point on the 4th of July. So that's interesting. She makes that very important legal point. No one in our family is trying in any way to impede with the investigation by law enforcement or to otherwise hamper the family and law enforcement's quest for answers. Warren, her son, was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taking on water, and they had an issue with the bilge pump. Nolan...
Now that's what Tracy said. Nolan's friend said that they had to take the boat back to shore because it was some electrical problems. And that's when he said Nolan stayed behind and returned later because he met a girl. This is what his friend said. His friend said he met a girl. Now people were saying that he was the only black person there, but how the hell he was the only black person when he told his friend, Tracy, best friend, that's black, that, hey man, I'm gonna stay behind. I met this girl. I'm gonna return on a boat with some other friends I know. They got a boat later. Anyway, let's continue.
Made a decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends. Now, normally when there's a case that's potentially got legal ramifications,
it's apparently Joy Reid is way behind on what's going on, information what's going on. But you know, she got to take what she's giving you the information that everybody else is have. Before Nolan's friend spoke out and the judge spoke out. I'm gonna play this 1 or 2 with the judge, former Mississippi judge, speak out, another judge speak out. So she's still somewhat behind. But that's all right, we clear it up.
The idea is to say nothing. She's saying a lot here. She says more. Yes, I am a judge. I also value transparency. I apologize if anyone was offended that I deleted my social media. There were no nefarious motivations in my deleting my social media. Social media has a lot of positives, but a whole lot of negatives. We live in a world of clickbaiting, sad but true. My family is hopeful that this information will help to redirect the attention to the Wells family, their grief, and their need for the community support. So note that at first this was a missing persons case, but then the body was actually found. Nolan's body was found and identified by his family a couple of days after he disappeared, and everyone went dark. Everyone took their social media down, including Ms. Cole, who has now explained from her point of view, and she says she wasn't there, but she's now explaining on her son's behalf what she says happened, which maybe not on purpose, maybe on purpose, kind of provides him with kind of a exculpatory information about himself, right? It kind of excuses her son and the other boys in her statement, and she's a judge, so she knows the law. So it's weird. And now, with all of that, new information has emerged, including a video that appears to show an argument taking place, potentially involving Nolan. Let's play.
Now we know that's already been dispelled from the friend. That was him. But she's, like I said, she's behind. But listen to it anyway. Let's listen to it anyway.
Like that.
Is this your car insurance premium? This? Even this?
You can hardly hear it, but they saying that was Tracy and saying that was him. Not Nolan.
If
Nolan
you can pull
wasn't
it all the way
here.
down, because that sound is going to sound weird because it's.
He actually said Nolan was not here. This is in this video. That's what he said. That was him arguing with his friends.
It's just a slow version. And you can see there's Nolan in a group of other young people. If you really sort of squint and look at the video, you'll see that it's not like this is a very racially mixed group of people on Horn Island. He was essentially the only black.
She just pointed out, okay, they're saying he was on the boat. Now, if she just pointed out Nolan way over there. So why, okay, this is the don't, okay, let me pull it back.
If you really sort of squint and look at the video, you'll see young people. If you can pull it all the way down, because that sound is going to sound weird because it's just a slow version. And you can see there's Nolan.
Okay, Nolan there. They were saying that he was on the boat. He said, what you heard is me on the boat arguing with him. Why you take my phone? How can the hell you hear that shit from way over there? You see how fucking all kind of holes is in this shit? Somebody, we need to get this story right. We need to get the real story right.
In a group of other young people.
And if homie was on the boat, his friend was on the boat, and he's there, that's more than one. He wasn't the only black person. And it looked like there's some black people there too. So you got to dispel that shit. He wasn't the only black person there. And then she just read the letter with the judge. The judge read a letter that I went to high school with his mother. Joy, we just got finished reading a letter from one of the boys' judge, from the boy's mother, one of the white boys' mother, which is a judge. Excuse me. That I went to high school with Nolan Wells' mother.
If you really sort of squint and look at the video, you'll see that it's not like this is a very racially mixed group of people on Horn Island. He was essentially the only black person there. And so that's
a lie. That's a lie. Now that's another what? From 4 inconsistencies. So it's an only black person. Why?
Is raising a lot of suspicions. People are getting very, very worried that there's something
Joy Democrat, she got to run with the narrative. She got to run with the narrative of race. We got to make this more racial as we can. I want to get down to the truth.
Happened to him, that something was done to him. And again, why would he allow his friends that he came there with to leave and give them his phone? Why would he be there with no phone, no way to contact anyone? Others on social media have pointed out that some of the other boys initially were posting things like, see you soon. But how would you see him soon if you have his phone and he doesn't? Why would you post a message to someone who cannot possibly reply because you have their phone? That's weird. If that is true, then that is very strange, because you wouldn't post on social media at someone whose phone you have in your possession. It's odd, right? Let's put up Nolan Wells' mom's post, because again, she is a very online social media influencer. She's a beauty influencer. So this was her initial post on July 4th. And she says, this is Nolan Wells, AKA No, one of the sweetest and kindest souls you could ever meet. He went missing on Horn Island on July 4th. I'm looking for any pics or videos that were taken on the northwest tip of Horn. Please help us find our sunshine. And again, she posted this on July 4th. If the other boys had pictures of him or video of him, that would have been a great place to respond. They know her. These are people who are known to the family. One of their moms says she went to high school with this woman, Christine. So why are there no replies? I went on that account. I don't see replies from any of the friends saying, hey, here's pictures of our friend who we were with. Here's what he was wearing. Here's what we were doing. There was no response. There are no replies. And again, now they can't reply to her because they've effectively deleted the content of their Threads accounts. That post was on Threads. All of it very strange.
Okay, I'm gonna end it there, and I'm gonna go on to this other one here. We gotta hear what this. I want to hear what the former sheriff had to say about this. This is one that a lot of people playing.
Has anyone actually made it to
playing this video? I want to hear this.
Club Fight Plus News.
Okay, so folks, hold on real quick. This is, we're not gonna get the truth until the results of it. Now, I agree with you on that. The private tester would tell if a crime committed. Exactly. I agree with that. To show that the Mississippi medical examiner ain't doing shit. I don't think they did a toxicology. They said we did a toxicology report. I don't think they did. They want this buried, man. For whatever the reason is, they want this shit buried. Straight up and down. You know, I don't think so. You know, this is bad. This is real bad, folks. I mean, it's a cover up on top of cover up, man. And motherfucking stories, people stories getting twisted. But we here to try to straighten this shit out. But anyway, let's hold on real quick. I'll be back in a second. Okay, now let's go ahead and play this. The former Mississippi judge, supposed Norwell case, call out who should be arrested. Let's go.
Janaba. Following the latest surrounding the mysterious death of Nolan Wells, a black teen in Mississippi whose body would be found washed ashore after his friends allegedly would leave him on a remote island, a former Mississippi judge is now speaking up and highlighting some key issues he sees with the case. according to former judge, now attorney Carlos Moore, who served in a municipal court in Mississippi for a little over 6 years. Someone should have been arrested by now for several different reasons. Moore, who would end up being pushed from the bench after previously speaking out against racial discrimination on social media while serving as a judge, would take to his Facebook page on Friday night for over 30 minutes to air out questionable behavior he sees with how local officials are handling the case from the inside.
It's time out for playing games. It's time to know the truth from someone well versed in it, that has actual experience. I've worn the robe, the black robe, and I've presided over these trials or preliminary hearings, arraignments, and initial appearances. Let's get started. So what do we know? We know, after watching the parents' interview and reviewing tons of footage from social media, recounting interviews and statements of alleged witnesses that were on Horn Island, we know that Nolan Wells went to spend the night on July the 3rd with his so-called friends. And he went with those so-called friends to Horn Island on a boat on July the 4th. We know that out of the 4 people on that boat, 1 did not return home. That 1 person was Nolan Wells. The other 3 returned home as normal and said nothing to any member of law enforcement or to the Coast Guard until at least 11 p.m. at night on July the 4th. We know that at least 1 of the so-called friends was found with the phone of Nolan Wells. And we know this based on the testimony of the parents, specifically the mother, who tracked the phone and was led to the home of one of the young men where she retrieved the phone. We also know that based on the mother's testimony that there were no Snapchats from the day, which was very odd for her son. We also know that text messages were deleted. We know that when she was tracking the phone, Life 360 said the phone was one place and Snapchat said it was another place. We know that the boy that had the phone did not voluntarily turn it over or call first. He had to be found through their own investigation. We know that based on witnesses' account, the so-called friends were seen on July the 5th, that Sunday, having breakfast together like nothing had happened. They were not out there searching for their so-called friend.
So they seen July the 5th having breakfast. Remember that other photo saying that on that pool party, it was taken on July the 5th? That was wrong. That was taken June the 22nd, a week ago. So we know that photo is fake. I got it on the thumbnail on this video. So we know that that's fake. So there's a lot of shit that's fucked up in this case, man. It's just left out, But let's continue and see what the former judge had to say.
We know that the so-called friends deleted their social media, deactivated their accounts, and scrubbed it clean if the allegations are correct. We know that the young man that had the car at his house did not willingly turn over the keys. At first, he said that he did not have the keys. He didn't know where they were. Then he, after being pressed by the father, he finally turned over the keys.
Now that's odd too. The father had to press him in order to get his son keys. They didn't want to turn the car over, knowing that there's not that car. Why? That could be a cover up. Could have been a straight cover up by his white friends. White friends' parents paid off Nolan friends. I'm just saying.
This is all very suspicious activity. We know that based on an audio recording and some video that Nolan Wells can be heard saying, "Give me my freaking keys." Excuse me, give me my freaking phone.
No, we're not going to go over that because I already went over that with Joy Reed. You know, that wasn't him. That was his friend. That's what, as far as we got information now. Remember, this was 2 days ago, so, you know. But anyway, let's go.
And there's been two different versions. Some say he said, "Give me my freaking phone," or some say he said, "Give me my ML phone." Regardless, he was asking or demanding his phone. Someone had his phone who did not have permission to have his phone. So the first thing I see, the simplest thing I see, is who had his phone and why. And was that theft of the phone?
That didn't make no sense. Why would his friends take his phone? I mean, no. I think that's wrong. I that don't even make any sense why he would take Nolan's phone when Nolan was over there on the beach. The other guy was on the boat. His friend was on the boat. His friend was arguing with him on the boat. The other friend was on the boat because he wanted to fight somebody. Oh shit! Yeah, let's go.
Sometimes we look at the largest case. We try to get to murder. But the person that took his phone committed a crime right there. There are witnesses to who took that phone. If an affidavit is signed, an arrest warrant could be signed by a judge in Mississippi to go after that person that had that phone unlawfully.
You're not going to get no affidavit because Nolan's friend torpedoed that already. Torpedoed that part of the case already. That's just done with. I'm just saying.
We know, based on his own words, Nolan Wells' words while he was alive, he did not give whoever had that phone permission to have that phone. So was that theft? I think if an affidavit is signed, if it was presented to me when I was a judge, I would have signed an arrest warrant for the person for theft of that phone, based on what I've heard. It'd have to be an affidavit format, but if it was presented to me in affidavit format from law enforcement, I would sign the arrest warrant for, at least at this point, theft of the man's phone. We know who had it. We know who didn't report it to the family. The family had to go find it, and we know that Nolan Wells said give it back to him, and evidently it was not given back to him. Why was that?
I cannot do Carly today.
This is gonna be weird, man. I'm telling you right now, this is gonna be a weird case. When this shit all comes out, man, it's gonna be like, God damn. We just waiting for this autopsy to come back. That's gonna shed a lot of light on a lot of things. We hope so. Unless somebody call down to DC and say this, say that. This is what you say. We give you this, we give you that. Pull some favors and make sure. Wait a minute, and make sure that you say this, what you find in autopsy. Oh, big ass conspiracy. I don't know. Let's go.
All of the other things I've stated, you piece it together, is there enough right now for arrest warrants for murder? That is a good question. I do know at this point there should have been search warrants signed by a judge. Evidence should have been presented to a judge by now. We are nearly.
He know that it's not enough for an arrest warrant right now, but he might be right that there should have been some search warrants. Yeah. Anyway, let's go.
7 days after July the 4th, when he was first reported missing, there should have been evidence submitted by Jackson County law enforcement agents, the Sheriff's Department specifically, presented to a judge so that search warrants could be signed by the judge, and there needs to be, or should have been, someone questioning the young men, the three so-called friends, and others, and their social media accounts need to be searched by now, or at least a search warrant should have been issued for the appropriate entities to give the law enforcement access to the social media information. That should have been done by now. I'm not telling you what I imagine. I'm telling you what the process usually is when you're trying to do a thorough investigation. And based on what's revealed from a thorough investigation, I do believe once the evidence is secured, it's going to lead, and it should lead, to the arrest of one or more individuals for the murder of Nolan Wells. All of the actions are very suspicious, and right now they lead one to believe that one or more persons could have been involved with the death of Nolan Wells. Right now we have a lot of unsworn testimony, but once that is put into affidavit format and there is corroborating evidence through social media, computers, or otherwise, I believe that at that point there will be enough evidence for a judge to sign an arrest warrant. I think critical evidence that's missing right now are the results of the autopsy, the state's autopsy and the independent autopsy. That's going to be critical information. And that alone.
Now, what if the state autopsy in Mississippi and independent autopsy doesn't add up? It's not the same. Oh, this gonna be really interesting. Or what if they are the same? Come back with the same results? What do people have to say then? We're gonna have to see. Jeez. Let's go.
Or that in connection with what's already known may be enough to lead to an arrest or arrest. We do know at this point, low-hanging fruit, there should be an investigation about the underage drinking, who provided the alcohol. Those individuals could be immediately arrested based on if there was any sworn testimony presented to a judge. I believe a judge could immediately sign an arrest warrant for those who provided the alcohol to underage individuals. There's a lot of people and a lot of potential crimes, some misdemeanors and felonies, that people could be held accountable for.
Whoa, what are those?
Was there any boating while intoxicated? who was the captain of the boat, and what did he allow on his boat. If there were any illegal drugs possessed by anyone.
I'm sure there was. That's the problem. We'll see what the toxicology report come up with. I'm sure some illegal drugs was used. And maybe they might just do that, say that, he had this in the system, that in the system, fentanyl, whatever, or the case may be, cocaine or whatever, or some other shit. That's why he died. He drowned in the water because he was so high that when he got in the water, the reaction of drugs, shut his body down. Some shit like that. But this is wild, man. Let's go. Let's continue.
Drugs are still illegal in Mississippi. At least they were when I was on the bench. Drug possession, drug use, selling of drugs, dealing drugs, trafficking drugs. We've heard testimony, or allegations at least. I don't think anything's been put in affidavit format yet, about rampant drug use among certain individuals. So there are a lot of things that's been alleged. Once put into the correct format, affidavit-wise, it could lead to arrest for several things, including misdemeanors and maybe even felonies. So there's a lot left to do. We are not rushing to judgment, but I just thought I would come on here and tell you that there definitely should be search warrants issued by now, and there could be arrest warrants for certain crimes issued by now. But for the ultimate crime of murder, it is probably wise to wait to see what the autopsy reveals, or that both autopsies reveal, and then parse that together with all the video footage, all the witness statements taken, any affidavits gathered, and then make a decision, get it all to a judge at that point, for a judge to decide whether or not to sign a warrant for the arrest of one or more individuals. It would be very interesting to see what the autopsy shows. There's also the potential for kidnapping. It needs to be looked at whether or not they can get to murder. Was there kidnapping? Was this young man taken somewhere against his will at any point? Was there abuse of a corpse even after he died? So there's a lot of things that need to be looked at from various law enforcement perspectives. Law enforcement has to do their job and get the information to a judge in the right format before a judge can act. Had I still been on the bench, if I wanted to act, I could not act unilaterally. I would have to wait till law enforcement brought me the evidence in the right format before I could sign an arrest warrant, before I could sign a search warrant. And so that's how the process works. That's how the process works. And so I am happy to be a retired judge. I'm always going to shoot it to you straight with no chaser. Straight with no chaser. I will tell you the God honest truth. I can tell you this one thing. I may have been born at night, but I was not born last night. And one thing about it, you cannot fool the informed. I've been on the inside. I know the process, and we will not sit quietly and allow this to be swept under the rug.
That's what it seems like they're trying to do.
I will call your hand. I will call your hand. You're not going to play these people for a fool. You are not going to play these people for a fool. We know the process. We know what you should be doing. And by God, I plan to make sure you do it. Or we're going to call you out each and every time. There is a process. What I do know is, had the roles been reversed, by now, there would likely have been already arrests made. It wouldn't have taken all 6 days, 7 days, whatever the amount of days it's going to take. Had the roles been reversed, justice, the wheels of justice spin quickly. Somebody would have been arrested for something by now. But since the roles are what they are, we are expected to be patient, and they're going to cross every T and they're going to dot every I in the investigation before they make a move, because of the people that are potentially involved. And that's the way the criminal justice system works, unfortunately.
All right, I'm going to end it right there. So we got to hear what he had to say, former judge, Mississippi judge. And he seemed like he's on it. He did an interview with, I'm not going to play that, but maybe play it tomorrow or whatever. I don't know. He did an interview with Don Lemon. I have to hear what he had to say on Don Lemon and stuff, you know. But anyway, a lot of people is on this. Don Lemon, you know, Joy Reid, every media is on this story. This is, and it's obviously the Mississippi, the courts are trying to push this under the rug because of 3 white kids who they linked to, who their parents are, how they known in Mississippi, the town or whatever. Maybe they want to be future football stars or whatever, this and that, the third or whatever, whoever they link to. Maybe they link with somebody big, and then you got to remember, there's a lot of people at that beach those were not poor kids, those were rich kids, or well-off kids, real rich kids of, that parents have some importance. So, you know, hey, now they being exposed, so they're not gonna be able to cover this up. It's too late for that. But we got to see how it's gonna go down. We're gonna have to see how it go down. Like I said, toxicology reports can be the same, because somebody in Mississippi called a favor down in DC, make this happen like this. Or it could be different. If it's different, you got a serious big problem. They got a big problem. These 3 white kids got a big problem. Now, I don't know if they lawyered up yet, but they did lawyer it up. So it's just, they already preparing for the worst of this life. But anyway, that's it. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate it. We didn't get no support or anything. That's all right. We're gonna get some. Give me a like and give me a sub. Give me a couple subs, 3, 4 subs, 10 subs, 20 subs. Give me some subs. Give me some likes too. I appreciate that. If you want to support, you know, you can. On the other channel, I got the Cash App, Super Chat, and the members. Become a member. This might go to members. I don't know. We'll see how many views I get. But this might go to member. Become a member. Because I got on my highest tier, members only content. I might talk about this again on members only. Original members only content. It's all original content. And I say what I want to say on a particular tier. It's called a pit. So you become someone that's in the pit. You get to hear what I really think about some shit. So, on that note, I'll see you guys on the other side.